Cravings with Adventures. I'm Cardamoms. It's such a beautiful day and we're going to be going out later and joining our friends at a picnic. And what's better to eat at a picnic than a delicious sandwich? Today, thanks to my friend Viola Gardones, I'm making her recipe for beef sandwiches. This recipe is super easy to make. What I love about it is that you just literally throw it into a pressure cooker, cook it up, and you get this wonderful cooked beef that I'm going to turn into a paste for sandwiches. Earlier this year, we went to England and I ate something similar called potted beef. But trust me, this recipe is so much better. Before I go any further with this recipe, do make sure you subscribe to my channel. I upload a ton of videos every week. And do ring the bell, that's YouTube's bell icon. That will notify you every time I upload a new video. Now let's get started. I'm going to start with 800 grams of meat. I'm using beef sirloin tip that I just cut into cubes. You can also use stewing beef, and for my friends that don't eat beef or cannot get beef, you can also use boneless lamb or even mutton. Add the juice of half a lime and 2 tablespoons of freshly ground black pepper. This pepper plays a vital role in the flavor. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of coriander powder and a teaspoon of chili powder. Next, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of ginger and garlic paste. Mix this well together. I like to store this overnight to marinate in my fridge, but if you're in a rush, just leave it for a minimum of 2 hours. Once the meat is marinated, add a 1/4 cup of oil to your pressure cooker and allow it to heat up. I have a couple of whole spices here, 2 star anise, 2 bay leaves, 2 black cardamoms, a 2-inch piece of cinnamon, 6 green cardamoms, and 10 cloves. Add this to the hot oil and allow the flavor to permeate into the oil. Because I'm going to grind this later, I'm going to remove the whole spices after they've had the first dip in the hot oil, and I'm going to put them in a small piece of muslin or cheesecloth. Add 2 sliced green chilies. This is about a 1/4 cup. You can add more if you want your beef spread spicier. Next, I'm going to add all of the marinated beef into the hot oil. I'm going to tie the whole spices with a piece of kitchen string. These spices have so much more to give, I just don't want to throw them away yet. As the beef starts to cook, it's going to release all of its natural juices. Add some salt and give it a stir. I'm now going to throw the whole spices back in, and then I'm going to put the pressure cooker lid on and I'm going to allow it to cook for about 10 minutes till it builds steam and releases its first whistle. I'm going to allow the steam to escape, then open it and add half a cup of water as I want the meat to be nice and tender. Close this again and allow it to pressure cook for 2 to 3 more whistles. The cook time will depend on your heat source and your meat. Once done, I'm going to open the lid and discard the spice bag. The liquid in this dish now needs to evaporate. I'm going to keep cooking this till the gravy thickens and the beef gets quite dry. At this point, it's ready. Remove and transfer to a dish to cool. Using 2 forks, I'm just going to shred this meat, but because it's so tender, this is so easy to do. You can use this exact same recipe to make a delicious chili fry as well. I'm going to leave that link at the end of this video as well as in the description. In my food processor, I'm going to pulse half of this pulled meat, and I like to do this in small batches so I don't overgrind the meat. This is the consistency you're looking for. I'm going to do this a few times till I have about half done. Be sure to get the pieces of green chili that we added in earlier as well. Once half the meat is pulsed, add the rest of the shredded meat. I personally like to do a half and half to preserve some texture in the meat spread. To spice it up a little bit more, I'm going to add 2 generous tablespoons of Dijon mustard. I'm going to add 4 tablespoons first of mayonnaise. I'm going to mix this in. And if you want it a bit more creamier, add another 2 tablespoons. If you plan to make this ahead and refrigerate the spread, add less mayonnaise, and when it's ready to use, just add the rest of the mayo so you get a nice spreadable texture. Yum, this is delicious. These sandwiches are super simple to make. I have some regular sandwich bread here and I'm going to cut the crust off first. Butter the bread generously and then add the spread. You can add as much as you like. I like to add about a tablespoon and spread it till it's a few millimeters thick. Too much or too little is not a good thing. You want the perfect balance with the bread. I'm going to cut them in half. Store these in an airtight container. I like to make these a few hours ahead and store them in the fridge. The generous layer of butter forms a nice seal between the bread and the filling. Just leave it out at room temperature before serving. This recipe from my friend Viola Cardamoms was a big hit at the picnic. Perfect with chai and after a long day of playing out in the sun. Thank you so much for joining me on Cravings Food Adventures. I really hope you enjoyed this delicious recipe for beef sandwiches. It's so easy to prepare and you can store this in your fridge and just make a sandwich whenever you want. It's great to take for picnics, but it's also great for your school lunch boxes as well as parties. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, guys. Do share my channel and my videos with your family and friends. And don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And be sure to follow me on all of my social channels. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and even Snapchat. Till I see you next time, do take care. Bye. I forgot to thank V. Is that a problem? Thanks, V.